I think so. Hey guys, welcome into Strong Confident Living. Laura St. John here. I am so ready to do this broadcast, which is how to get yourself into massive action, like massive action, because I am literally so fired up. This is in line with Forever Pack or Isagenix. If you are ready to take your business to the next level, this is a Saturday morning Zoom where I am going to share with you just my secret sauce business strategies and my business tips on how I get my mind aligned into my business and my goals and my vision and my target and feeling so congruent so I can go into massive, serious action. And I'm going to share with you some of the steps that have been put together so you can just fall right into the system and explode your business. So super duper excited of where we are at in this moment in time, because so much is launching even just this week with Forever Pack training systems, back-end systems that you can just literally latch onto and go. So I'm going to share with you actually some of my tips that have really helped me launch not only this, but any previous business that I've ever run and grown successfully. So I'm going to give you 3 main tips and walk you through exactly what I do so you just know this works for me. I believe so strongly in what I call the education of the heart, because if you are connected to your heart, you never feel like you're off course. You never, not never, but when you feel that inkling of self-doubt, when you feel that inkling of like the voices inside being like, oh, I'm not sure about this, then you can go back to your heart and you can just know. So I am ready for some massive action. So I'm going to share with you exactly the steps that I'm taking in the coming weeks. So if this inspires you, my philosophy is be the example, okay? Not to look outside and be like, if I just had this, then I could take my business to the next level. If I just had this person or this leader or this set of circumstances, I would be able to take my business to the next level, because those are then you seeking something outside of yourself in order to make yourself happy, make your business take it to the next level. When it really comes down to you, what do I need to do to focus on things that I can control, not the things that are outside of my control, so I can take my business to the next level. So it's a shift in thinking sometimes, because sometimes you're like, but Laura, this business is built on people. And it's like, yeah, but you're the VIP, you're the CEO of your own company, so be the example. And I'm going to share with you some thoughts around that. So number 1 is being so crystal clear. And I mean crystal clear, like the clearest you can be on your vision. Okay, this is before you set goals, which I'm gonna talk about at the end. Before you set your action items, which I'm gonna talk about at the end, because it's gonna make so much more sense. How clear to you is your vision? And not wishy-washy, not, yeah, I think I would love this, or I would wish for that, like clear. Like if I said, I have a crystal ball from my friend Lauren, if I said, if you could put your vision of what you want to happen, okay, as if it were already happening in one of those like snow globes that I could just shake up, or look inside and see you inside your own snow globe, okay, what would be your life? If you could just be like, I have this crystal ball, I could shake it up, this is what it is, it's already happening, my phone's blowing up, let me just shut that off for a second. What would it be to you? What would it be to you? What is inside that vision for yourself? What does it look like? What does it sound like? What does it, most importantly, what does it feel like? Okay. And if you're not sure, I'm going to give you an action step right now, because a lot of people sometimes are stuck in, I don't even know what that looks like. Okay. I just know what I don't want right now, which is awesome. First, you have to know what you don't want right now. As soon as you clearly define, the typical Laura St. John, Strong Confident Living here, flip it, which is clearly know what you do not want, so you can define what you do want. But what I love is I did this like Bob Proctor exercise that our teammate Ellen, had shared with us back in the fall before the fires ran through here in Malibu. And she was like, you know what, just watch this YouTube, Laura. This is amazing. It was so simple. A list, B list. Okay, very similar to a flip it list that I would create, but a little bit different. And here's the tweak. On the A list, just write, this is my current reality. This is my current reality. Good, bad, so be it. Just literally throw it out there, okay? And write it down, because something is different when you write things down, not typing it out. Okay, typing it out, it like connects to so many neural pathways in your head, but when you take a pen and you start writing stuff to paper, something else happens in your brain. Something else happens with your cells. Something else happens with your body, and something else pours out of you. So I really encourage you to do this exercise. So step one is just make an A list, like write a piece of paper, and on one side put A, and on one side put B. A list is just your current life, whatever's happening. Like I said, good or bad, just not relevant. Just throw it down there. Okay, that's what's your current. B list is I am so happy and grateful that. Okay, I am so happy and grateful that ... that this has happened. Okay, and it is unbelievable what this B list will do for you, because it really taps into what I'm sharing with you as my thing, which is put yourself in the snow globe, right? Put yourself in the little snow globe and shake it up. That's your B list. What do you see? What do you feel? What is it like? Where are you? And anything goes. Your imagination can go wild. And, and I would just wrote down my whole life. And then it was not only that I'm so happy and grateful that I'm living this life, but it was also, I started breaking it down. I have this green notebook, and now that I read every single morning, and I try to read every single night, and it is broken into every part of my life. Like, I am so happy and grateful that friendships, serious friendship, the relationship with my family, my sisters, my marriage, my self-care time, my wisdom time, my parenting, my Isagenix business, my success, all these things. I have a different category of my life that I really then created this A and B list for every single category. But at least just start with your general life. Like, this is my general life. These are my different areas. This is what I'm so happy and grateful that. B list. Okay. When you have, if that cannot be clear to you right now, that I was just like, what do you wish you want? And you're like, I don't know. Then go back to let me just grab it right here. Go back to what we do. I mean, this is our specialty at Strong Confident Living, and when we design like master classes and such, which, guys, we have, I got some tremendous feedback yesterday from someone taking our mindsetclasses.com saying, like, your Epic Goals course is changing my life. So thank you for that feedback, because I have so many of these courses, literally mini courses in our mindsetclasses.com, $10 a month. Are you kidding me? Like, you guys can just totally dive right in if you like what I'm talking about right now, and roll up your sleeves. This is the work part. This is like not the just I'm plugging in every week. This is the work part. And this is the part, honestly, that I think matters most. Okay. So what I want you to do, if you're not sure about your vision, you're like, can't make the A list, can't make the B list, then you fall back to the flip it list, being like, I clearly don't want these things in my life, right? That would kind of like happen on your A list. That will help you define what you want on your B list, or what I would call, excuse me, the flip it list, where you get to define truly what you want. So if you're like, I am not loving this feeling of lack, like lack of time, lack of money, lack of this. Well, obviously on your B list and your flip it list would be, so I clearly do want this level of abundance. But then you have to bring it to life. And that's what I'm saying with this A list and B list. It's not just like, this is clearly what I want. Well, what happens when you have it? What does your life truly look like on like a daily basis? So you have to define that. That is so, so important. Do you know why? Your brain wants a target. Okay, your brain wants a target so badly. And if you don't give it a really solid vision, it's always just going to be creating more of the same, more of the same, more of the same. And if you're like, I am totally stuck in the same old, just different month, same story, same day, maybe different people, different set of circumstances, but the same feelings, that's you stuck in your feelings, continuing to create your current reality over and over and over and over again, because you're not doing this work. So do the work. So create that vision, create it like a clear crystal ball, and you got to shake it every day. You got to shake it in the morning. You got to shake it at night. And what is the shaking is you reading it and like feeling it as if it's already there. So to me, honestly, that is like one of the most important steps. And it's not to read it to check it off your list in the morning, being like, yep, did it, because then you're not really feeling it. And you're just going to keep inviting the same thing back. Okay, so that's number one. So do that work today. If you don't have one, like what I call my green notebook, if you don't have one, get one and start writing that down, and give your brain, like reading it over and over and over and over again. I can't even tell you how many things since October have already started to come true. they're literally coming true in my reality. And I'm like, oh yeah. And then when you have your visions of what you want your life to be like sitting in front of you every single day, when it appears in front of you, you're like, totally, I'm meant to talk to you because that you're in my vision. Like my brain goes, of course. Okay. Hashtag, of course, hashtag no coincidences, because when I meet someone who's exactly in line with my vision, or a business thing or something that's exactly in line with my vision, my brain already had that target. And when it comes into my reality, usually in a package that I least expect, like, oh, I thought it was going to be this and this and this, but I released that and said, you know what, this is just my vision. I'm not going to manipulate the parts and try and move other people, because I can't control other people, but I can control my vision, and I can allow those parts to come to me. When I'm so defined and I'm so clear, they literally, when they appear in front of me, it is like, oh my gosh, how funny is it that the thing that I wanted just came in a package that looks completely different than what I even thought it was going to be like. Okay, that is the juiciness of this and life and manifesting whatever you want. Okay, so that is number one. Number two, after you clearly define what doesn't make you happy, what would make you happy, and then what's happening in your current reality A list, what would you love, and doing it in past tense. I'm so happy and grateful that, I mean, it's so crazy. Just to give you an idea of what I do with like parenting with my 3 sons, I accelerated, I don't even know why, to like, I'm so happy that I've watched my 3 sons blossom into such fine young men. Like I see them like in their 30s. Like this is like me in my 70s. So guys, you have to like, you can accelerate it to a year from now. Like my business thing is like a year from now. Like I'm so happy and grateful that, you know, it's 2020 and this is happening. Like this is what I feel like this is starting to happen. It's already happened. So you have to write it in past tense and accelerate it to any future point that you can flip your perspective and look back on. So our brain likes to go 6 to 18 months ahead on average. So go there if that's comfortable for you. We found that to be a very comfortable place for people. Sometimes it's really comfortable to go 5 years ahead, look backwards. Sometimes it go 10 years ahead, go backwards, and look at your life from that perspective, because you can then close the gap sooner. So these are just little tips that are big tips. Number 2, okay, is in order to really get in the energy of feeling it every day that you read this vision. And guys, this is what's going to bring you into massive action. So my last step is actually gonna get to the juiciest part last, because if you're not in line with this first, any of your actions I feel like that you do could just keep bringing you back to the same spot, because the vision that you're working towards is so key. So do that piece first, okay? Number 2 is, in order to feel it, like even before you look at that, I created, like a couple of years ago, I was like, all right, I'm so good at like making everybody else happy. What makes Laura St. John happy? And one of my pages here, that's like one of my most important pages, is what I call my happy list. Okay. And I've even had like my 12-year-old son make a happy list. Like it is so fun to just sit down, take a plain white piece of paper and start to make a happy list of all the things in your life that bring you a smile, that bring you joy. Okay, whether it is a color, a favorite color, okay, start anywhere. And if you are so out of touch with your purpose and your passion, this is going to feel hard for you at first. But if you are like, I want to get more in touch with my purpose and what makes me feel passion, feel joy, feel happiness, you start with the littlest things, because the littlest things are the most extraordinary things. And when your ordinary becomes extraordinary, your life becomes amazing. So if you could look outside and be like, you know, if seeing flowers is on your happy list, well, then when you look outside, again, just like your vision, when your brain sees them, you're like, that's on my list, right? Like I like, you know, rainbow things. I like purple. I like super duper blue skies. I love palm trees. I love, you know, kids like belly laughing. Whatever it is, you know, that makes you happy. You have to, again, give your brain the exercise and write it down, because when you take a look at your happy list and then you make a phone call, you're in a different state. When you take a look at your happy list and then you go off into your business day, you're in a different state, because you're recognizing the sweetness of life and that success is all around you in all different forms. So if you are only recognizing value in a monetary way and then feeling a disconnect, being like, I don't have that one thing, like money, success, whatever, when you do have 99% maybe of all other things, you're always going to be moving from lack. Okay. And I want this training right here today to help you move from abundance, from happiness, from joy, because that is, again, education of the heart. When you move into the next step, which is going to be action, massive action steps, from this place, you are a different being. You are a different being. You will get different responses from people. You will get way more yeses of everything because you are oozing a different version of yourself. So make a happy list. And if it's difficult, good. Like if this was difficult for me years ago when I was like, what do I do? What even makes me smile? Let me just start writing it down. And then sometimes that's just the practice of realigning, besides a flip it list of like, I don't want to feel lack or, lonely or this or that. I want to feel abundance. I want to feel friendship. I want to feel joy. Besides that, now, when you look at that, that stuff of what you want, you really can start to tap into those small things. So it's not just going to the beach or having a beach house. It's literally the little things. And the more specific you get on your happy list, like start to let it flow, but fill up the page. So it's like, do you love going to, this sushi restaurant? Why? Like, oh, I love, that, like their attention to detail. I love the waiters and waitresses there. They're awesome. Like, I love the customer service. Like, you can continue to roll with it. And as I've done this practice with other people and they're like, oh, I love to go here. I'd be like, why? And it would be like, because, I'm usually there with my friends. And I'm like, okay, well then keep writing. Like then collaboration with friends and laughing with friends and unwinding. And what are all the things that you love? Like, if you love good wine, is it just to love good wine? Like, is it that you love the taste, or do you love the feeling of that it gives you and you're like calming down? Really, that you might just love calm. Like getting to all of this at a deeper level is so, so key. And you're going to get better and better at this. And again, I've got like all kinds of courses on these things, but this is a brush over. If I could just scratch the surface with you of how to go into massive action, I feel like these 2 steps of having such a concrete vision that if I were to like describe your vision to me, what do you see in your crystal ball in 2 minutes or less? Like I can hammer mine out to you in every category of my life. If you can't do that for yourself. Do that for yourself. Do that for your brain. Because when you have a target, like literally like this clear that you're working towards, when you think you're falling off course, right? The typical off course, the ups and downs of life, you're not going to really be off course at all because you're like, ooh, this detour that I thought was totally wrong just introduced me to my next biggest business builder. I totally thought I wasn't even supposed to be stuck in the airport or, going here or there today. And here I am, like in a totally different place than I thought I was going to be today. But wow, and you're feeling a down, but then it turns into your biggest up, and it doesn't matter. You are unscathed. You will be like literally unstoppable. And this is why it's so part of massive action, because most people, when you're not feeling it and you can't see your vision clearly, right? Then you get cloudy and you don't know what makes you happy. So you get stuck in unhappy. You stop. And then you're like, let me throw in the towel, or this is wrong. Or then you start to look outside of yourself and be like, well, if I just had, now I started this broadcast, if I just had all of these things, this business leader, this business, if I just had a different market, if I didn't live on a farm, whatever, then I would be able to do this. When that is not it at all. Okay. That is just you feeling down, and it is way easier to point the blame at external sources instead of yourself. And you, not that I'm saying that you should point the blame at yourself. I'm saying use that as a flame, okay? Not a blame, but a flame to fire yourself up. Use that as a flame to be like, I am going to be on fire, unstoppable. And I don't even hear the judgments that I used to hear. I don't even hear when someone, actually I hear it, but it doesn't even permeate, because even if I'm down here, I'm so on track with where I'm going. It doesn't even touch me, okay? And then any external source, good or bad, literally is just like part of the process to you. You're like, I don't know why I'm feeling this way, but I know I'm right on track. I know I'm exactly where I'm meant to be. I know I don't have to move all these pieces, okay? So tap into the happy feels, because every single day that you read your happy list and know all the things that make you happy. Okay. Like my mom's cooking, smelling eggplant parmesan, like scraping the Italian sauce, like on the side of the pan. Like if you read my little happy list, you'd laugh because it's like literally that specific of being like, these are things I love. And when I do it, I'm just like, I smile to myself. I head nod to myself and say, I am exactly where I'm meant to be. I'm exactly where I'm meant to be. With those two things, you can blossom anything that you want. If you want to grow a phenomenal business and you're like, I am on track and I feel good about myself, the most important things, you are congruently connecting the most powerful tools you have, your brain and your heart, because you're giving your brain the vision, okay, of seeing with your insight what you want to see. Insight, I say at my speeches, is more powerful than eyesight. Looking out, you might see a reality that you do not want to see right now. Looking out, that can keep you stuck, or you can close your eyes and you can look within with your insight and say, but this is what I want. I see the crystal ball. I see it shaking. I can feel it, okay? And then the feel it part is all the stuff that makes you happy. And it's not just, I'll be happy when I have that thing in the snow globe. It's, I can choose to be happy right now. Because if you can lock into those feelings right now, not just waiting for the snow globe to shake, but you're like, if I could shake this and just feel like I can have an Italian dinner, I can walk with my son in the woods, I can, yes, I can do all these things right now and find happiness, then your joy that you're bringing is literally going to be what allows the rest of your vision to come to you. It allows versus blocks. And I want you to think about that every time that you don't feel good and you still go into action, like you're inviting back all the things that you don't want. Okay, so if you're like down here and I'm like not feeling it, better send out 100 emails because I hate the way everything's going in my life and my business isn't moving. So let me go into action to prove it to myself that, to prove from lack, you will circle back into lack. So when you go into massive action, are you going into massive action because you're seeing your vision clearly? And then up here, you're feeling good feels? That is going to accelerate you like I can't even tell you. Okay. So from that, okay, I can keep going on the back end philosophy, but take the deeper dives with me if you want to do that. Now you need to go into action daily, because if you, here's the juicy sauce of this now, to roll up your sleeves and go into action today, which is, what do I want in my Isagenix business? What makes me happy? Okay, period, in life. Number 3, what am I doing this week that is 100% in my control, not anyone else's control? And what you have to recognize now, based on your vision, is you set up your own goals. And what I suggest is, do not set up goals that are reliant on other people's actions. So for example, if you set up goals saying, I want to pop 10 consultants and become executive this week. Okay, that's amazing, but you can't force someone to share. You can't force someone to go into action. So if you're relying your goals 100% on like, this rank or this thing that is 100% not just your effort, but other people's efforts, it gets tricky, because then you look outside and you were like, again, if you were just sharing this with 2 people, that would make me happy. If you would just do this, I would be happy. And as soon as you get into that trap that like, if you would just do this, then that would make me reach my goals, you are giving your power away. You're literally giving your power away in this business. And this part is what's so important, because so many people fall into this trap. So I want you guys to really make an action list right now, today. And we're giving you guys, there's so much training coming out for Forever Pack, but marketing plans, like tools, things, but just start writing down, what am I doing this week? How many conversations am I willing to have? Okay, start there. How many conversations am I willing to have this week, regardless of the outcome? Because if you are crystal clear in your vision, it will be coming true. Some weeks you're going to have 20 conversations and 10 people might move forward. Some weeks you might have 200 conversations and 0 people move forward. And if you get stuck on the what is wrong with me, because last week I had 20 conversations and 10 people move forward, like 1 out of 2. And this week I had 200 conversations and 0 people move forward. Well, maybe like 2 weeks from now, one of those 200 people like is your next biggest business builder. But because we stare at what is wrong with me or what is wrong with these people that are not moving forward, we get stuck, okay? Because we're thinking, why aren't they moving? Why aren't they doing this? Why aren't they saying yes to me? Why aren't they sharing? And you have to get out of that. And you have to be the example of you in action. You in action will make everybody else go into action. So go into massive action and say, how many conversations am I doing this week? And then you ask your team the same thing. How many conversations are you committed to yourself to having? Like, are you a 10 out of 10 of wanting to get to your freedom day, that vision that you see in the snow globe? Are you crystal clear on that vision? What are you doing about it this week? Not relying on anyone else. What events are you hosting, virtually or in person? How many people are you calling? Like, what are you doing proactively to rely 100% on you being the CEO of your business, okay? Not reliant, because your energy in that going, doing will inspire your entire team to do the same thing, okay? So when they're like looking up to you, it's not just being stuck in training or being stuck in you have to do it this way, or not even being stuck in anything because you're doing. And then when they're asking you questions, you're like, this is what I'm doing. What are you doing? Like, that's 100% you, and finding, what you love to do for you. Maybe you love meeting people one-on-one at coffee shops. Awesome. Well, how many coffee shop meetings are you having this week? How many meetings can you line up? Can you sit yourself on Thursday all day at the coffee shop and back to back set up 30-minute meetings? You love to meet with people in person? Well, then do that. Okay, do that. If you don't love to meet with people in person, or you're like, Laura, can't do that, got a full-time job, got a new baby, whatever, okay, well, there's this amazing thing called technology, and we can do virtual presentations all day long with people anywhere around the world, okay? So what are you doing then to invite them to the Monday night presentation? Are you, how many messages of invitations can you send out to the virtual presentation? So if you're like, I don't have time for any presentations, that you can dump them into the Monday night virtual presentation for Forever Pack. Right? It happens every Monday, 6:30 Pacific, 9:30 Eastern. You can just blast out messages whenever you can and invite people to that virtual presentation that you don't even need to be at. Are you kidding me? That's amazing. Okay. Or what about you? If you're like, I would love to present. Awesome. Step into your leadership and present why Forever Pack Isagenix is so incredible to you. Well, how many virtual presentations can you fit into your busy schedule? Can you do a 15-20-minute lunch one day? Can you do an evening one day? Because the art of invitation is in your hands. Saying, what can I do to invite my people to my presentation? I want them to hear my voice. I want them to know what I'm feeling. I want them to feel as good as I feel. That's ultimately all this is. I want you to introduce you to something that is making me feel as good as I feel, and I think it could be for you. I think you'll really dig it, or I think you'll really like it. I think you'll find it as fascinating as I do, okay? And it is you putting all of this energy on your own shoulders, because your happiness and your vision are so clear that you're like, I'm not gonna stop. I'm not gonna stop at judgment. I'm not gonna stop when people are like, what are you doing? I'm not gonna stop, because I can control every single week how many conversations I'm going to have and what I'm inviting people to. And you have to either be inviting people to the one-on-one, okay, either in person or over the phone. Hey, here's this amazing link. Check out foreverpack.com. I thought of you because blank, right? From your heart. I thought of you because, and I would love to chat with you 10 minutes about this. Take a look first at the video. I really thought of you. I know you're gonna dig it. If this is for you, you're gonna love me. Like, take a peek at this. When can you chat? Okay, one-on-one call. That's it. One-on-one call. One-on-one meeting at a coffee shop or wherever, cafe, one-on-one meeting like after a gym workout or with someone, okay? And don't just rely, I just did this whole, it's on my YouTube channel for Strong Confident Living. I just did a whole training on bringing Forever Pack to market with how to just, all these tips, massive action tips. What are you doing this week? How to build out your calendar, all this stuff. So I'm not gonna be totally redundant. I'm gonna just tell you that it all relies on you, how many people you are talking to this week, okay? And then not getting hung up on why isn't my team growing as fast as I want it to be? And what are they doing wrong? Okay. They're not doing anything wrong. They're looking to you saying, well, how many conversations are you having this week? How many events are you hosting this week? What are you doing this week? Okay. What are you doing this week that's inside your control? And every time I want you guys to stop yourself when you're stuck and be like, is this in my control or is this outside of my control? I can't control other human beings. I can influence them, okay, by what I feel. Like what I feel can maybe help them feel belief. It can help them feel anything, you know, but I can help them feel because energy is contagious. What I feel maybe can like transmit into what other people feel like, hey, I think you'd be amazing at this. I think you'd like rock this thing. Like, I know you've always desired to live at the beach or have this more time with your family. Like, I think this would really speak to you. You control you, okay? Share it, invite, take a look, and try different methods, because maybe you love the one-on-one, or here I am like on Zoom right now. I could just on a Facebook Live, but I'm on Facebook Live, like talking to you guys. Maybe it's not like, I love virtual. I love video. Obviously, I like to talk in front of groups, but if that freaks you out, then just get on the phone, just send messages to people, weave in someone, send all the tools, invite them to the Monday night call. Like, there is an unlimited amount of things that you can do when you are feeling happy and in line with your vision, that you go into action. And that is what I like. There's no stopping anyone who's 100% a 10 out of 10 in burning desire towards their vision. You can't stop that person. Okay. You literally can't. And if you can stop that person, it is because they're not 10 out of 10 in line with their vision. So become unstoppable. Follow these 3 steps. Like, roll up your sleeves, do the work. Write down right now how many conversations you're willing to have this week, and inviting them to, am I inviting them to a call? Am I inviting them to a one-on-one meetup? Am I inviting them to a group presentation in person? Am I inviting them to a virtual presentation? To me, those are the 4 options. Okay, once they've seen the content, take a look, and I want to invite you to this. It's one of those 4 options. And their thing might be not what your favorite thing is. Okay, so if your favorite thing is meeting with people one-on-one, and you're like, I can't get this person to meet with me, Laura. It's like, okay, well then maybe they need the virtual presentation on Monday, or maybe they need a virtual presentation with just them on a phone call. You sharing your screen, you talking about what you love, because maybe they're busy. Maybe they don't want to, maybe they can't meet in person. So recognize your style might not be everybody else's style. Guys, go to the Strong Confident Living YouTube channel, subscribe, take a look at all the trainings that are popping up there. And I just want to thank Dave MacArthur and the entire crowd that's putting together this collaboration behind Forever Pack Movement. It has been so phenomenal. This is my little piece. Get into action today. Love you guys so much. Have an incredible weekend. And let me know if this inspired you. Bye, guys.